Hello and welcome. Welcome to video 2 in our FortiGate Initial Configuration Series. In this video, we're going to be reviewing some critical services that the FortiGate depends on. DNS, name resolution, NTP, accurate time, and FortiGuard, Fortinet's intelligent services, and security services. So we'll start here with DNS. So if you go to network and DNS, by default it will be using Fortinet's FortiGuard servers for DNS using the secure DNS over TCP port 853. If you want to change that and use an internal an internal DNS server, you could just hit specify, put in the IP addresses here, and if you want to change the protocol from TLS to UDP, you could just checkbox that, and that should be just fine. If for some reason you notice that the DNS servers are unreachable, I would look at what interfaces they are going out. So if you go to your logs and you go to local traffic and you look for, if you go in here and go to destination port, and we're going to look for 853, we can see here. And by the way, if this destination interface column is not showing, you can just come over here and find it in the column and move it over. But we can see here, it is going out the correct interface. If for some reason it wasn't, this could happen in some SD-WAN configuration scenarios. If you go into the command line, config system DNS, you could do a set interface select method. If you're using SD-WAN, if it's an external DNS server, you could use your SD-WAN, so you could do SD-WAN, or you could just pick an internal port for this to go out, and that should solve that problem. As for NTP, if you go to System and Settings, you can see here, by default, it uses FortiGuard. If for some reason you want to use your own NTP server, you can just hit Custom, put in your IP of your internal NTP server, and apply. If for some reason NTP isn't working, there's a couple of troubleshooting steps we could do. For one is, I would always make sure that it is going out the right interface. So again, I'd go to local traffic, and we're going to look for port 123, which is NTP. We can see here, NTP. I guess you could even do application name. If you right click, we're looking for NTP traffic. This could also work. We can see it is going out WAN 1, which is good. If for some reason it was going out the wrong interface, you could also go back here in the command line, go to system, config, system, NTP. If you do a show full, you can see all the settings you have here available. But you could do set source IP, so it knows where it's going to be sourcing it from and setting out the correct interface. Also, if you want to verify in the command line that it is going out the right interface, stuck here, and let's go up. This will work for both DNS or NTP. You could do a sniffer command, so diagnose, sniffer, packet, any. All right, and then we can do a couple things here, but we'll do port. So if you're looking for regular UDP or 53, if you're not sure, you could do both, or port 853. All right, and you have a few options here. I mainly use print a header of packets with interface name, so I'll do 4 at the end, and then now we'll just wait. Maybe let's go to DNS network. DNS. There we go. So we see some DNS traffic here. You can see, I can see it's going out my here. What was this? I can see it's going out my WAN 1 interface, so that's good. I want it to go out WAN 1, and we can see here it's using TCP 53. So that's good. So we know this is going well, and you can do the same thing for NTP. So you could just do TC port 123 and NTP is a little slow, so it might take a while, but eventually you'll see this pop up and you can confirm it's going out the right interface. We'll give it a minute here. All right, here we go. We got some traffic here, which is great. We can see it's going out to FortiGuard on port 123 UDP. So we know it's great. And also one last little command that you could run for NTP. You do a diagnose system NTP status, right? And this will show you your NTP server. So obviously we're using from a pool of FortiGuard servers. Here's some of the IPs, and it is reachable. So NTP is working great. DNS confirmed, working well. And that should lead to FortiGuard. So FortiGuard, if we go here, if you go to filtering and do a refresh, this should be all green. If for some reason you have any kind of issue with filtering, or on the dashboard you have an error, can't read FortiGuard services, there's a couple of troubleshooting techniques you could do. Notice here, it's reaching out to FortiGuard filtering services over HTTPS. This used to not be the case. It used to use, I believe by default, UDP 53, and I would see issues with it. We would have to change it to, I believe it was UDP 8888. Actually, if you go here, you can go to config system FortiGuard. All right, so show full. So if you want to change that port, you'll have to set this FortiGuard Anycast to disable. All right, so to set FortiGuard Anycast disable, and then we could do set protocol, and now we have different options. We could use UDP or HTTPS. I recommend keeping it HTTPS. That works flawlessly. That used to not be an option, I believe, so we were stuck with the UDP. But if you did have UDP, these are your options for ports. You have 8888 or 53. 53 could be dropped from your carrier for possible non-standard DNS traffic. But all 8s work, but definitely I recommend keeping it HTTPS. Oh, the other big thing with might cause your FortiGuard to not work. Let's go back to FortiGuard. It might be going out the wrong interface. So if you just set interface select method, let's say you are configured for SD-WAN, you could just do SD-WAN, let SD-WAN figure it out. Or you could just, select the interface you want it to go out as, and that should resolve the issues. So at this point, DNS is working great, NTP is working, and so is FortiGuard. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and follow for the latest content. Thank you.